Sabrina Hemian. I'm a concept artist and designer working for a studio right now in Vancouver called Atomic Cartoons. I've been a designer for about 6-7 years. Getting into concept art and design when I was kind of like 12 or 11, I started learning Photoshop, and I was really impressed with concept art books and concept art in video games and movies. As a kid, it was probably like Halo and Star Wars, but as an adult, probably closer to the Lighthouse job process. I worked for an indie company for a little bit. I started working at a studio called WildBrain. It used to be called DHX, on a Mega Man project, and that was really exciting for me. Mega Man was really cool because it was a big IP that a lot of people know, and I went to PAX that year, and there was actually a bunch of people working on Mega Man stuff too that I got to talk to. It's awesome to talk about. After that, I started working on LEGO projects. I think my first one was like a Jurassic World. And then I remained on a bunch of LEGO projects for a while. I think the most interesting one was LEGO Star Wars. I think I started teaching here just Blender. As for concept design, I used to help a few of the other classes a few years ago with portfolio work because I mostly do concept design for works. Trying to give them ideas to kind of push their work forward. A lot of students will have something like, let's say, like your typical like elf archer, and that's a little generic, but the concept in it of itself isn't bad. So trying to find like students' own unique voices within the work that they want to do. It's also like trying to talk through what issues that they're having at any given time. If they're having like a technical issue, doing like a paint over and trying to explain the process of like why I'm doing that paint over. The students themselves are often quite interesting and very engaged in what they're doing. And since they're so young and so into what they're into, their advice to students is like practice a lot, but also practice with like good reference. A lot of the time I feel like students come in with like a very preconceived notion of just like the only type of art that they're into, and it's good to be into like a bunch of different things so you can like kind of expand your style. Sometimes you might start working on like a project that you think looks really cool, and like it's based on some sort of thing that you really enjoyed when you were younger, but you find that you don't enjoy working on it yourself. So finding the style that you're most into working is often better than like trying to copy exactly what you're into. Definitely being able to broaden your horizons from just like one specific thing, I think is good, at least while you're learning. Once you start kind of getting into the industry, you'll kind of get into a rhythm of what you like and don't like the most. But I think that's one thing a lot of people have a really hard time with, is like figuring out what they want to do, if they want to do animation or video games or movies or real life or stylized, like all that stuff. Like it's good just to try kind of all of it at first, and maybe something sticks with you more than the other.